Today on DNVR Buffs Live, Colorado has a future superstar on campus, and no one knew about it till today. Also, I don't know if you guys feel it, but there's a slight breeze in the room. Let's get to it.
Polynesian.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Squad. Oh, there was a fourth voice in there.
There was.
That was interesting. Spirit Week. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. And it's a quad pod today.
It is a quad pod because it's Musical Chairs Day.
Musical chairs.
Let's
baby.
go, man. Harrison Wind.
What's up, guys?
Joining
Thanks
the
for having
show.
me on, man.
Of course,
to win.
Man, I was honored to get the text this morning that you guys wanted me on the show today, so I had to be on.
Hell yeah, that's only
Absolutely.
right.
We've got the brain trust of DNVR on the show today because Harrison, of course, not only known for his great work on the Nuggets, but also the head of content here at DNVR. And then later in the show, we'll have Andre, who, of course, you guys know very well, who is the GM here at DNVR.
Yeah.
We're called up the big wigs.
I asked RK
doubt.
yesterday, I'm like, who's like the biggest buff here at DNVR that isn't currently on the show? And he pretty sure the first name he said was Harrison. And I'm like, damn, I look, he didn't really know that.
I mean, I don't spout it as much as RK.
Really?
That's not possible.
But yeah, man, I'm a buff, class of 2013.
Go crazy.
Grew up in Boulder, like RK. We went to high school together, actually.
No
That was
way.
great.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we
know
didn't
that.
really I think we knew of each other, but we didn't know
Yeah,
each
we
other.
weren't really
Wow.
friends or anything.
Wait, same class?
No.
same
No,
year?
I'm a year
Oh,
older.
Okay.
But grew up in Boulder, went to high school there. My parents still live there. My sister still lives there. So I go back, once every couple weeks to see them. And went to school there, of course. I probably lived through the worst football era in CU history, like my 4 years at Colorado,
Yeah.
the Embry years. So the last couple years have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you
Looking
also,
at that
I think you
record,
got
those 4
two
years is
Hawkins
crazy.
years, two Embry
The
years.
tail end of the Hawkins years, and then moving into the Pac-12 with Embry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tough.
Dude, I'll never forget. We called a QB sneak on first down
Stop
in
it.
that Utah game. Do you remember that?
Oh, no.
Yes, it was blown out of proportion a
They
little
didn't
bit.
know they picked up the first down, so they called a QB sneak.
Yeah, so
and
they thought it was
first down.
4th and
No
1, but it
way.
was actually 1st and 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, that's actually might be worse. I didn't know that it wasn't. I don't know the down and distance. The whole
Yeah.
sideline didn't know the down and distance. That's crazy.
It was such like a microcosm of where we were. Like it wasn't as bad as it really was made out to be, but because we were already so bad, like if a normal team did it, it would be like, oh, classic mix-up.
I think I was sitting like first row, 50-yard line in the student section. And I got there like
Was everyone-
after the game started.
Was everyone like yelling like, no?
Yeah. You could see it coming.
Damn.
Like you were like, are they setting up for a QB sneak here? Wait, they're actually trying it.
What's it been like to be at the 50-yard line in the student section for a game like that and to see where the program is in terms of just like fan support over the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, back then, I don't really know what students do now, but back then, like, we used to pregame really hard for, like, the 11 o'clock games. And
Yeah,
all our
yeah.
games were at 11, I think. Of
course.
Back in the day, because
lot.
we were getting the worst time slots.
Right.
So, like, we were getting up at, 7, 8 to pregame,
Up and at 'em.
walking to the game, and then probably leaving at about halftime.
Damn.
Yeah.
The amount like
And that's what everybody did. And
That
you
was my
go-
UNM
you-
experience.
You go to the hill, you go find a house to keep it going at.
it's crazy because like I don't know, people who we've tried to explain to people just how bad it was when it was that bad. But like there's being bad, like the Rockies, and the Rockies are terrible, but they don't get blown out every game. You know what I mean? Like, they play in close games. In baseball, that's obviously the nature of it, but like, there's so many games where it's like halftime you're down 35-7, halftime you're down 21-0, and you haven't done anything on offense. Like, it was, I mean, mostly my college experience too. It was the same thing. Like, I would stay for the whole game, and all my friends would leave.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, it was really tough convincing your girlfriend to stay for like more than 5 minutes of the game back then. That was the toughest part.
Crazy.
So what was your first year? What season?
Would have been 2013. 2013. What was their record that year?
They went 4-8.
Okay.
So
No, sorry. I graduated in 2013.
Yeah.
2009.
Oh, okay. So you saw a total of
2009 was the win over Georgia.
Right. So I remember I rushed the field.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
AJ
we rushed the
Green.
field for that game.
No way.
We rushed the field.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
And Georgia, I think,
They were
fell
1
to
and
like
3.
1 and 2.
They were like 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, and we rushed the field. Yeah.
It was a night game.
Yeah.
AJ Green had the coolest catch I've ever seen.
Dude, so the two games that like are stuck in my memory are that game from like pre Coach Prime, are that game and the West Virginia game.
But yeah.
The West Virginia game when they had Pat White and
Steve Slayton.
Was that the year before or 2 years before?
I think it was
Yeah.
before, a year or two before, and was it Eric Goodman hit a
Yep.
field goal that barely went in
Yep.
to win in overtime, I think.
Yep.
And they were ranked like 20th or
Viewer
something.
of the show, Eric Goodman.
Yeah.
Shout out. Pat McAfee was on that West Virginia
Was
team.
he? Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that was. I don't think that was Slayton though. They had
might
that
be.
guy.
They definitely had Pat White.
They had that running back Noel Devine
I
in
remember
that
him
game.
for sure. Yeah.
He was sick,
Okay.
like a shifty little guy.
How many wins did I see though total? 20.
You saw like
9 to
15 or
2013.
16 wins, bro. That's not bad.
That
That's
many?
actually not bad.
I mean, from 09, that's 8, 11, 12.
12.
And then does 13 count or no? 2013?
Yeah.
12 or 16?
No, because I would have graduated
Oh,
in
for
May, and then that was
Spring.
the fall after. So
You
no.
saw 12 wins.
So you saw that. That means that in the Coach Prime era, they've already won more games
Yeah, that's crazy.
than your entire college experience.
It felt like less than 12, to be honest. Those are some dark days.
What is your favorite Coach Prime game so far? Besides TCU, of course.
Well, wait. TCU though, he has a good story for because he's one of the few that was not one of the few,
well,
one of
true.
the few at DNVR
Yes.
who was actually here in the bar.
TCU was crazy. I mean, I don't know if anything will top that, but like there was so much excitement and the buildup was crazy and you didn't quite know what to expect. And then 3 hours later, we had 3 Heisman candidates.
Swear.
Everybody just balled out. It was unbelievable. And being at the bar was crazy. And Derek White was here.
Oh, nice.
And that, if I'm feeling down, I'll find that video that DNVR's put out and I'll just rewatch it.
Hell yeah.
That like, there's like the 2
It
second.
brings tears to my eyes, by the way, that video.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's like when the snap happens and you hear the bar get like super quiet.
Yep.
And then right when Slush like taps the guy's ankle or whatever and he goes down, it's just complete just chaos just right after that.
elation.
Yeah.
Got goosebumps just hearing you tell the story.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same though. I'll pull up that video.
I've never heard it described the way Harrison just said though. Like it was so much uncertainty, and then
Right.
after the game, 3 Heisman candidates.
Right, we're like, are
The
we the best
whole
team of all
world is
time?
talking.
I don't know.
Dwayne Wade and LeBron James
Yeah.
are tweeting
Yep.
about it.
Yep.
Like
Yeah. I mean, it's been crazy over the last couple of years. I mean, the CSU games have just been like, I won't forget those just because they've been so tense.
Yeah.
And you feel like the whole season's hanging in the balance. when
Last
those
year
games have been
especially.
going on.
Yes,
man.
definitely.
Especially last year.
How you feel about that rivalry win? Do you feel like that should be played continuously at least on the football side?
I do.
So do I.
I
agree.
absolutely do.
Thank you.
I don't know what the financials are. I don't know any of that. But for the spirit of the game, I think it should be played every year. Football and basketball,
Swear.
absolutely.
Yeah, even basketball. We kind of talked about a little bit last week, but I'm like, if a rivalry has a nickname like a Rocky Mountain Showdown, like that's just got to be played every year. Figure it out, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And especially with the last, I mean, obviously 2023 was different, but even last year, like going into it, there was a lot of like noise and a lot of excitement around.
And they've been great games, too.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
have.
I will say, like I have been on kind of the side of like screw them. Like,
Yeah.
no more free clout for CSU.
Yeah.
But
We are giving them some clout.
there is like a feeling I have.
We know that.
The day of that game.
Totally.
Walking into that game, being in the stadium that
Yes.
like I can't really get from anything else.
We don't have that with anybody else.
Yeah.
Anything
Facts.
close to that.
Facts.
The Nebraska, obviously, the Nebraska series was amazing. It's a different type of rivalry to
Yep.
me. Like, maybe we had to hear from Nebraska fans more than we normally would have. But, like, you lose to CSU, it's all you hear about for a year.
Right.
And,
like we
the,
do have everything riding on it. They
Yes.
don't have as much, obviously.
The stakes are so high
Yeah.
that I will miss that this season, that there's, like, not going to be a game on the schedule where, like,
It's not one
I
of
can't
those.
sleep the night
Yeah,
before.
facts.
Because, not because I'm excited, because I'm scared.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
team in transition, though, I'll definitely take no rivalry games this time.
For sure. Especially not back-to-back. Back-to-back rivalry games,
Too
I think,
much.
honestly, was a net negative for this team the last 2
Yeah.
years. Because I think I've said it before, but, like, you emotionally peak in week 2 to 3 of the season.
Yep.
Like, you can't, it's going to be hard to get back up to that level of get up for a game just because of the, the nature of it.
There's a reason rivalry week in college football is the last week of the season.
True.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I was like, if there's, because some people say we should play CSU and Nebraska every year. I'm like, I'm only okay with that if there's some way to get Nebraska back to the last game of the
Yes.
season.
Right. That makes
Absolutely.
sense.
But it would be weird to do that out of conference, obviously. You have the USC Notre Dame. That's not the last game of the season, but it's later in the season.
Georgia GT can do it. I don't
Yeah.
know last week, but it's around there.
It's just weird to not have the last game of the season have conference,
right.
Championship implications.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it should be
implications.
determining seasons pretty
Yeah.
much.
And that's kind of why I really hope that like a rivalry here for Colorado in the Big 12 just kind of grows organically.
Who are the
know?
candidates?
Who do you think? are the
Everyone?
candidates?
Yeah, I mean everybody is kind of a
Like,
candidate.
if you think about the games we played last season,
Yeah.
all of those
Yeah.
games could potentially turn into rivalries. I
Like-
think, like, Texas Tech was
Yeah.
one where it was like, man, like, this is
I'm
intense.
trying to think of who I just hate the most.
like TCU, obviously they play them
TCU
again this year.
definitely.
That could
TCU,
potentially
yeah.
turn into one. Like
really hate
Baylor,
Kansas
even though they don't
State.
play them this year. Yeah, K-State, BYU has potential.
I mean, honestly, anyone but Cincy, really, just from
Yeah.
a historical standpoint.
Yep. UCF, did you mention UCF?
Nah, I don't think I would put them in the Cincy category.
I mean-
I'd be like, nah.
Do you need proximity to be a rival? A little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even Nebraska is a neighboring state.
Yeah.
It's like
Kansas
the
State,
neighbor, the
maybe?
ugly
Yeah.
neighbor that like does weird shit, but
Mm-hmm.
it is a neighbor.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe even Arizona State potentially.
are we
Yeah.
completely punting on a potential Utah rivalry
Oh, I
now?
forgot about them.
It had 10 years to materialize. It
It
never, did.
they tried to make it work for 10 years. They tried to make it
It has a
thing.
name.
Does it? Right?
I did not know that.
Rumble in the Rockies.
That's crazy.
Rumble in the Rockies. That's kind of fire. I'm not even gonna lie.
But it was so
Sheesh.
manufactured by the Pac-12 because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna have this like travel partner in basketball
Yeah.
that's also going to be their last game of the season rival, and like it was such a quick departure from the Nebraska rivalry that it was like, oh, like here's a new red team.
Sure.
Do you hate them? And we're like, we don't know.
Team.
Have a name. Here's a name. We'll call it the Rumble in the Rockies.
But in all fairness, I mean, Utah was one of the best teams in the country some years, and CU
Yeah.
wasn't really holding
Yeah.
up their end of the bargain.
Yep. CU did break like a 25-game road losing streak at Utah, and Utah was playing for a chance to go to the Pac-12 championship game, and we were like not good.
Hell yeah.
So that was kind of sick. That was early on.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break. Lots more to get to. Shout out Coors Light. It's time to chill. Today it's
Can you say that again, please?
Coors Light.
There's a lot.
Coors Light. We're gonna be at Coors
Field.
Field. Thank you. I almost said Coors Park. I was out of town for a few days. If you couldn't.
Where
tell.
my Ryan's at, by the way?
Yeah,
Need
we're going
all
for
Ryan's
Day.
to
Yes.
pull up to Coors Field.
I'll be
tomorrow.
there.
Right
We're
on
going to
this
Coors
tomorrow.
Field on Friday. It's going to be a blast. Come and kick back some Coors Lights with us, or just come hang out at the DNVR bar. NBA Finals still going on. NHL wrapped up. But if you're going to come hang out and watch the rest of those finals, watch some baseball, whatever we got going on this summer with us, make sure you pick a Coors Light and make the most out of times you choose to chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer. What's up, Thomas?
Also, if you need a fantastic vehicle to drive to pick up some Coors Light and then take it back to your house, of course, before you drive anymore. Hit up our friends over at Toyota, the most reliable vehicles on the road. You've heard it from the comments. People have these Toyotas for life. I've seen 300,000, 400,000 miles that people have mentioned that they've put on their Toyota just because they're built right the first time. Crazy as it sounds, because I've had some cars that I felt like they were built to break just so they could squeeze some more money out of me later in life. So shout out to our friends over at Toyota. If you're looking for a new car, you got to visit a Front Range Toyota store at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of Colorado Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
Okay.
By the way, who said it? Thomas, the crossover I never knew I needed. Win.
What up, Thomas?
This is what the point of Spirit Week was.
Yeah.
Fun little crossovers like this.
I have to ask you guys though, what were your thoughts yesterday? Like, who did you think I actually got a guest for the show?
I did call it before the
Did
show.
you really?
Yeah.
I figured one of you guys would have.
There was a second when we were talking about it where RK was like, what if Coach Prime just pops up on the screen? And I was like, that would be insane.
Well, I was just like, it was getting really hyped. Like,
For
from
sure.
you on social.
Alyssa was hyping
I
it
didn't
up.
even do that much hype. Come
But
on.
you did, like, I'm jealous.
Like more than one thing he said about like kind of hyping
I'm not
it up.
saying it wasn't applicable to Cam, but
sure
it
it
also
was.
would have been applicable to Coach Prime. And, like, Alyssa was like, yeah, we're going to need to have a backup headline for after this.
I'm like,
I'm
oh shit.
I mean, it's true if you look at the
It
views.
is true.
Yeah.
It is true. No, it was great.
was a good
but I was
point,
just
man.
like, I asked Scotty, I was like, what's the percentage? I think by the time we got to show, he's like 1%.
I'm up to one. It's on the table. Now that was fire. Go check that out yesterday if you missed it somehow. Cam was great chopping it up with him as he's trying to make the Jaguars roster, talking about Travis
Oh,
and a
him
lot
and
more.
Travis with the
And
draft.
BJ Green.
And BJ
And
Green.
BJ
Oh
Green.
wow.
Yep. But yeah, shout out Cam, man. He was honestly the first person I texted, just thinking, dream,
Try
like
it.
we'll
Yeah,
see,
we'll
yeah.
try it.
And then I woke up yesterday morning, I had a text from him.
That's
so
awesome.
shout out to Cam, man.
He, I watched, Kevin Kaduk made a highlight reel of all of the All City
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that was
special
dope.
guests, which was really cool. I think of all of the guests, I think Cam was the happiest to see us.
Low-key.
100%,
Low-key.
yes.
Which made me
It was
feel
a
really
fire
good.
reaction.
You could tell he was like, "Oh, these guys."
Like my guys.
Dude, that's how it feels like when we get a Nuggets player sometimes, and a lot of times you go through the team or something, and they're like, "Oh, you want to hop on this podcast? You want to do this interview?" And then they get here, or they they call into the show, and they're like, "Oh, it's these guys." All right, well,
Because they just hear like you have this media interview.
Yeah,
Click
yeah,
this
yeah.
link.
yeah. Like, oh, these are the it's the fellas. All right,
The
Pretty much.
squad.
yeah.
I have a question for Harrison. Where in the Nuggets arc do you think the Buffs are right now? Because I feel like there's been a little bit of a similarity in the way that the team is progressing forward. I almost feel like, can I get, actually, you give your answer. And then
I
I'll
was
give
gonna
mine.
say maybe them losing Game 82.
That's exactly
Is that
I
what
was
you were gonna say?
Yep.
So Game 82 was when the Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves on the last day of the regular season in 2018, and
Who's on that T-Wolves team?
Jimmy Butler,
Got you. Good, cool.
Towns,
Cat, right? Yeah.
Derrick Rose.
Oh yeah, facts.
Taj Gibson, he fouled the shit out of Jokic all game. I remember that. But whoever won that game was going to get the 8 seed. So it was this play-in game before there was a play-in tournament, and it was an epic game. I went to Minnesota for it to cover it. Like, it was an all-time game, like close the whole way, physical, and Minnesota won at the end. But it was a blessing in disguise for the Nuggets because like they really like took it tough. They locked in that offseason. Everybody got better and they came back, and Jokic took another leap. Everybody kind of like focused in, and they made the playoffs next year and continued to climb upward. But that was one of the tipping points in the Jokic era from when they went to this fun little upstart team to a serious playoff team.
I love it. It's exactly what I was thinking, and I kind of feel like the Buffs had 2 Game 82s last year.
Yeah.
One being the Kansas game, where it's like all of their dreams and goals and aspirations were in front of them, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work out that game. And then I also think the BYU game
Yeah,
was
that's what I
like,
was gonna say.
the Alamo Bowl was a big game with definitely a lot on the line, or at least a decent amount on the line.
I mean, big momentum.
Yeah, and I think the effect that Harrison talked about, where everyone is like, okay, like We have to take it up another level.
Yeah.
Like we've seen, we can compete. Now we have to take it up to the next level if we want to get over that hump.
Right.
And I think that you could have a similar effect, especially with some of the veterans who are leading this younger team this year.
I mean, the Andrew Swayzes, the Marshall Falks, like that's part of what you're talking about, trying to take it to another level. So
Definitely.
Did you have it? We never got to your favorite game other than the TCU game.
Maybe Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's probably got to be it. Dude, the Nebraska rivalry for me is like URK. Like that's one that goes back forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have that deep hatred of Nebraska in my blood too. I might hate them more than CSU, to be honest, at this point.
I do for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say that game.
It's CSU. I mean, we call them little brother, but it's like your little brother is still your family.
you can stiff arm
You
your
know,
little brother.
you're like, they annoy the shit out of you,
Give him a little noogie.
but they're still in the state, so it like has this different type of feeling. Whereas like Nebraska is like true unbridled hate.
like really the ops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
and
I hate your way of life.
Yes.
And I felt that, like, even this is the Nebraska game this past year was before I joined DNVR, but like just being on that plane going over there with like a bunch of Nebraska fans and like walking into this stadium, like you just like felt the hatred. You know what I'm saying? And obviously after the game, like I really wanted to turn my Twitter off, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm like, I'm not even interacting with these folks. Why is they all in my mentions? After, like, why are y'all not celebrating? Why are y'all in a reporter?
First year.
Why are in the mentions of a reporter of another team? Like, this don't even make sense. So it was like,
there's a very useful button. It's called mute the conversation.
yeah, for sure.
I
I
get
had to
that a
learn
lot.
that. I had to learn that.
Yep, I've been employing that tactic.
Yeah, it's a good
Thank
tactic.
you. It is. It's amazing.
I like had that was terrible, dude. I had no service in the stadium, and then I got back, and my mentions are going crazy. Like, why aren't you tweeting? I was like, I didn't have the service. What do you want
Like,
from
we
me?
shut RK up. Look at him. He's not even tweeting now.
Yeah.
No.
Couldn't even call my friends to meet up with them in that shithole stadium.
Yeah. Like the transition of like the CU team to next year is going to be so interesting though, man. Like with all the talent that left and the talent that came and the guys coming up in the ranks, man. Like I'm so curious how it looks.
For sure. And that's why I feel like when you guys are talking about like the Alamo Bowl or like the Game 82 with the Nuggets, like that can really, I feel like, be an inflection point for this program. Like the guys who were there, who are coming back, like that could be a moment that you point to where it's like, that's when we realize, you know, like you guys are talking about, it's another level we got to get to if we really want to be Big 12 champs and accomplish everything we want to. Because that was a pretty public kind of butt whooping that BYU gave them. And that could either go one of two ways. Like you can come back stronger for that, or that could be something that, you know, bleeds into the next season in a negative way.
For the Nuggets, it was almost like, oh, this is fun. We have this cool little team
Right.
with Jokic and Jamal, and we're building something cool here, but like, what are we actually doing? And then from that point forward, it was like, okay, we're focused on winning a championship and doing what needs to happen to take the steps to do it.
Yep. Feels like where we're at right now.
Definitely.
Talk recruiting.
Yeah, we could hit on recruiting real quick before we're actually taking the musical chairs to heart more than any other
Yes.
show. We're actually going to have the chairs switch out and have Dre come in here.
Okay, I don't know exactly what you guys touched on yesterday.
We touched on the visitors yesterday.
The Polynesian crew.
Correct. Plus Isaiah Williams.
Okay. Did you see the picture that Joseph Peko and Domata Peko
We need
Jr.
to put that up on the screen if we have it.
replicated today? Okay.
So fire.
So, you know Domata Peko,
Yes.
former coach, former player, Bengals, Broncos.
Yeah.
He's at CU coaching D-line now. And, I mean, you tell us, back in when you were in school, I don't know how heavy the Polynesian influence was, but obviously right there, literally the glory days of Colorado.
That was a little before my time, I think.
Yeah, well, that was for sure. That was before you were probably
sure.
even born.
That's Sal Nessie, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
Oakland
who else?
Salavea.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, legendary photo.
Yep.
It's enough to make a grown man cry right there.
And someone mentioned this in comments yesterday, but like Salinesi was like such a big recruiting win for Colorado that it kind of like kickstarted
Yeah.
the big time recruiting. And I think, you know, we could look at Jordan Seaton or even Julian Lewis back, like those guys being the ones that like really kicked things off on, you know, whatever this next chapter is going to be.
Yep.
I love that picture. I know you guys talked about this yesterday, but the field looks immaculate.
So fire,
so good,
dude.
bro.
I mean, I'm not a turf guy, but it looks good.
Well,
And all
it's also
these-
good perspective though for people who are very upset about the grass, which I understand.
Yeah.
The picture over there, that's straight up AstroTurf.
Right, that's
They're
like
playing on
concrete.
carpet over concrete.
Yep.
It's a walking injury right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I bet you the guys who played in that era have permanent scars on their elbows
For
and
sure.
knees.
Knees are
Oh,
probably
sure.
shot.
Yes.
The turf burns just, I mean,
yeah.
if you've gotten a rug burn before, imagine that just on your whole forearm.
And imagine being, you probably weren't getting a full speed tackle onto the rug
Yes.
to get that rug burn.
So, anyways, that is Domata Peko Jr. He is committed to Colorado. He's a JUCO kid. And then Joseph Peko, who's a 3-star defensive lineman. He's who are the schools? North Carolina is one of them.
I think it's just North Carolina
Oh,
and
is it?
Colorado.
Yep.
So he's between North Carolina and Colorado. So that's been going on the last few days. The big guy, the big news today, though, we've talked a lot about Cederian Morgan.
Sure have.
He just posted 2 days ago, actually. He was on a visit to Auburn.
It was either Auburn or Georgia.
So Cederian Morgan, 5-star.
Snooze classic.
Yeah,
Classic
There you
move.
go. Yep.
I still got to check it out, man.
It's good. But so he's 6'4", 5", 220 pounds. He's a
He's-
monster.
A future superstar. I'm so confident of it that he is going to be a guy who everyone knows. Like Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith,
Yes.
like Cederian Morgan.
Yes. Julian Lewis, obviously, on the team, freshman quarterback. This appears to be the Buffs' #1 target for this recruiting class right now, is Cederian Morgan. 5-star wide receiver.
He's a freshman or is he transfer?
No, he's not even
He's in high school
there
right
yet.
now.
Oh,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
he will be a freshman.
Yeah, so they're recruiting him right now. He showed up he had an official visit to Colorado a month ago.
Yeah,
Ish.
he's been to Colorado like twice in the last month and a half.
But today, he just posted this on Twitter. Surprise visit
Wow.
to Boulder, Colorado.
Maybe we can turn into wide receiver U. That'd be sick.
Most
mean-
wide receivers drafted of any school this
Yeah.
year.
When I was in school, Paul Richardson, P-Rich,
Dog.
absolute dog.
He played for the Seahawks in the league.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Mostly. He also played for the Commanders
Yeah.
or whatever they were called at
that,
that
that was
time.
our guy when I was in school.
He was sick.
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome if we can get him. I mean, Travis was incredible. My take I actually did want to share. I don't know if I've ever shared this, but I think
Yeah.
I have Travis Hunter in the Nikola Jokic tier of athletes that
Easily.
I've watched.
Right.
I think he's a Jokic level guy in terms of his IQ, his feel for the game, and just like the stuff you can't teach.
Of all the comps we've made,
And
that's
I don't
one of the best.
say that lightly.
Yeah.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I
for
will
sure.
not put people in that tier
Sure.
easily.
Got to be a short list of people in that tier.
I don't know if I've ever put anybody else in
Yeah.
that tier. But just like his innate feel for the game, how
Yeah.
he sees stuff 3, 4, 5 steps ahead.
So natural,
The
too.
natural skill. Jokic is also one of those guys who, and I'm guessing Travis is this way too. Jokic is just good at everything. You give him just like a game, a video game, just something to do, and he's just good at it after like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Those types of people are pretty rare.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, Travis, I think the biggest part is like the anticipation and understanding of exactly what the other team is trying to do.
Yep.
Like the iconic interception against TCU is just like him noticing the concept before it even happens and just being like, okay, well, they know that I'm supposed to go with the slant,
Yeah.
so I'm going to take the flat. Like,
Yeah.
that is Jokic level, big brain ahead of, almost like tricking them into doing what you want.
I always like to say Jokic is smarter than the team he's going against, and he's also smarter than your head coach.
Facts.
Yeah.
I think that's the same for Travis.
Yeah, no, I reposted that clip over the weekend, and I was just honest. I watched it so many times, but I was just going back, like, okay, when did he realize what they were trying to do, and then what he wanted to do to them in that clip? Because
I love like Joel Klatt on the call being like, that's a touchdown every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's true. Because I was playing NCAA all weekend, and that's a touchdown very often in that scenario.
It's very similar to his UCF interception too this year, where like he's kind of playing 2 routes at once.
Yes.
And that is just special stuff to do. Like you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yep,
And he just does it kind of on a consistent basis, and he's going to continue to do it at the next level as well.
no doubt, man. All right, we got to take our next break, and unfortunately, we we gotta say goodbye to Win. This was awesome though, dude.
Yeah, thanks
Welcome
for
back
having me, guys.
anytime, literally
Yeah, thanks for having
anytime.
me.
Thanks for bringing the breeze.
Always.
Appreciate you, Harrison.
Shout out to our friends over at Monarch Money. You guys like money, right?
Show do.
Well, times are a little tough right now.
little
We
bit.
all need to save a little bit of money, right?
Yes.
Whether it's subscription plans we forgot about, or whether, I don't know, you're buying too many trading cards or something. There's a
Henry today was talking about how he's going to all 3 Rockies games this weekend.
Eesh. That's psycho behavior, first off. But
But a
Question about that on
monetary
the other side of
problem.
this break. Remind me, please.
absolutely is a monetary
It's a money
problem.
problem.
And you know our friends over at Monarch Money got you covered. They are Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. They also have over 30,000 5-star reviews, and they are the top recommended personal finance app by users and experts. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Empire Today. Listen, y'all, just the same way your favorite team has a home court, a home ice advantage, your home deserves a home floor advantage. And Empire Today is the perfect place to get that. We got that here at the DNVR bar. Our floor is spick and span, to use a phrase from my boy Jake. Sparkling clean, and Empire
Hell
Today is
yeah.
the
Nice
biggest
phrase, bro.
reason.
You got
why.
the craziest phrases.
He really does, bro. Empire Today, they have flooring experts who can bring the showroom right to your home, so you can pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space to see how it looks with your furniture in your house. Empire Today takes the guesswork out of flooring, and you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day, because don't nobody like to wait. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. Yes, y'all heard that right. $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit Empire Today /DNVR for full details. Shout out to Empire Today.
Shout out to him. I think my parents are hitting up Empire today.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Code DNVR.
Oh, yeah.
We need that hard.
Hey, you mentioned that boy Hank said he was going to all Rockies games or whatever.
Yep.
I've been meaning to ask you this. You heard of like the 999 challenge, right?
Yeah. Wait,
For-
the Colorado 9 or the
base-
regular baseball
The
9?
regular baseball 9. Have you ever done that?
Nah.
Would you ever do that?
Nah, man. Not at 33.
That's what I was like. I could see you maybe doing it like, yeah, I did it when I was in
Like,
college or something.
Yeah, I would be more apt to do the Colorado 9. That's
Sure.
9 ski runs, 9 holes, and 9 innings.
For sure.
But
Well, you're about that.
yeah, exactly. I like all of those things.
Y'all know what
I
the
think-
baseball 999 is, right?
Yes,
That's
I do.
9 hot dogs, 9 beers, and 9 innings.
Yeah.
The thing for me is like,
9
if I were to
glizzies are
have,
indigestible. Like,
if I were to have 9, if I were to have 2 hot dogs and 2 beers,
Yeah.
my night is ruined
Of course.
from heartburn.
Yeah.
So 9, I feel like would be like a multi-day suicide.
Bro, the reason I brought it because I saw a video of this girl doing it recently, and like she was cooked.
Oh, shit. I saw that. She was
She was-
yeah, bro.
Bro, I was
Yeah.
dead. Like she was giving it like a
She
good try.
was,
Like I think
yeah.
she got into like the 7th or whatever, but she was cooked, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder.
And
if
like,
people
there's no
actually really do this.
medication or like anything you can take that will save you
Right.
from that.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah, I was curious.
No, yeah.
That
That's
is gross for sure. It's definitely nothing I would. I mean, those are just 2 items that I don't even really rock with for real, especially hot dogs.
I mean,
but
I'll have
yeah.
2 hot dogs max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
Joey
that's crazy.
Chestnut's an animal.
I could put down a
He's
lot.
coming
back,
like
isn't
his
he?
stomach needs to be stunned. You know, I mean, what acid does his stomach produce to where he can digest those 70 glizzies in a minute?
Actually,
It's just ridiculous.
we did once do a different trend involving hot dogs and beer at the Rockies game. The last time we went to a company Rockies game,
Glizzy
which was
straw.
the glizzy straw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
What's that?
There was like a video that went viral of this guy like hollowing out the inside of a hot dog and using it as a straw to drink his
yeah.
beer.
That's oh my god, that's so foul. That is so.
There's a
nasty.
video of that exists somewhere, too.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Me and
Oh my
Spencer
God.
actually, and I mean, it just makes everything that you're having worse. So there was no enhancement, except for I will say, like the beer being a little salty, kind of hit. But,
Yeah, I mean,
but it also,
yeah,
but it also, like,
it's a
warmed
good
it up.
combo.
and
Glizzy and beer, it's a good combo.
I'd be down for just 9 Coors Lights in 9 innings.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Totally
We're
accomplished.
doing it on Friday.
Might.
Let's do it on Friday. Pull up Coors Field.
The Glizzy straw was like my second week working here too.
Things have mellowed since then.
Yeah.
That's just a crazy 2-word combo. Glizzy straw.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Indeed.
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
What's good?
How's it going? Yeah, so nice to be here. What an honor it is, in fact.
Dre, you're honestly one of the most common, probably the most common person that people in the chat be wanting to see.
The chat
what I'm
and I have a real deep bond with each other. The love that these people give me every single time I see them at a tailgate, I come on a show, means so much to me. They're just the best. So yeah.
Dre always thinks it's like a joke. Like when people are like going up to him at the tailgate and they're like,
I know.
Dre, like, can we take a bit? He like thinks they're messing with him. I'm like, no, dude, these people
I think it's
actually
a fun
like you.
bit, which I mean, I respect a good bit, like the Glizzy straw, of course. So no, I just I love and cherish these people so very much. I don't think they even know it really, but yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and it's just a pleasure to be here, guys. How are we
yeah.
doing? Nice
Great.
to have Jakester back, the
Hell
Schwan
yeah.
man, as he's known around my parts.
Pause.
Yeah, that was pause indeed. Pause indeed.
Oh my God.
But yeah, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Great.
How are you feeling about how Spirit Week's going?
Yeah.
Impressed. Expectations as low as they could possibly be. I just have inner rage. That's my spirit.
Oh, can we tap into it?
So when Spirit Week was brought, the caffeine's kicking in. I got caffeinated for this show, so I'm ready to rage. Whenever you say
Hell yeah.
go, I'm on it, buddy.
I've got plenty of topics.
Oh,
for
let's go. Very pleasantly surprised. Not a Spirit Week pep rally, school spirit kind of guy. More of a do dysfunctional things under the bleachers kind of guy.
Probably.
So, really impressed with how it's going. You guys gave a shout out to the donation button.
Yes.
Hit the donation button.
Yesterday.
So many likes. I mean, again, degenerates like me. You can change someone's life today with that donation button.
Thanks.
Think, as a young youth in our community who just need a little more mentorship, a little more help, just a little support, just someone to see them. And if you can't be a mentor, I would urge you to donate. It's such an amazing cause. The fact that these guys, these absolute studs, have built this beautiful Buff show up into something that can change people's lives, that can help our community, help the youth in our community, the future of our community. I almost cussed. Lord, don't make me cuss when I'm trying to get people to donate to Big Brother, Big Sister. Do not. Please do it. It'd be so amazing for you to lend a helping hand, for us all to help each other, to bond together, arm in arm on this Buff show. So many likes. Let's try to get the donations to match the likes. Also, let's get those likes up, right? I gotta flex on Harrison. So come on. There's many agendas we need to check off today, and I'm here to check those off.
Swear,
You
man.
should
Well
run
said.
for president, bro.
Honestly.
I'm so moved right now.
I would love nothing less.
And this is why the people love you, bro. But just to echo that point, we have
Thanks,
a goal
Scotty.
of $10,000, and I feel like we can smash past that if we really get everybody to lock in and donate here on the show. I mean, I feel like we can
Buffs
get it done
alone.
in the next hour if we really wanted to.
Yes.
To just
Exactly right.
off the strength of Buff Nation. So y'all hit that donate
So
button.
true, man.
Let's do something meaningful
Also-
together this week, y'all.
Low key, don't tell anyone, but we're kind of getting smacked by CHGO
I don't
And
like that.
PHOY.
and PHOY in
Not
terms of
both of
how much donations we're getting.
Genuine scumbag cities are beating us out.
Buff
I
Nation,
don't
where are you
understand.
at?
Chill on
We
Chicago,
need
Jay.
you. We need you.
Good point. It's a good point.
And we also have people from both of those cities in the chat right now. I personally love both cities.
Shout out to my wife and child who are in one of those cities right now. Love you so much.
Dre, what's your favorite game of the Coach Prime era?
Ooh, hell yeah.
Wow. I'm zeroing in on 3, Ryan. 4.
Okay.
The 2 showdowns.
Yep.
Okay.
Showdown 1. My God.
I swear.
I rewatched the 98-yard drive last night.
Legendary.
Nebraska 1.0 with you constantly tweeting out one. What was the tweet? One thing you need to know about Nebraska is that they cough up
always
the
fumble
rock.
the ball.
They put that
Yep.
rock on the ground, I think I said.
Would you? Can we quote that right? Could we get our facts correct?
We can look it up, yeah.
Would you? So there's our 3.
I think I said one thing about Nebraska, they're going to fumble that rock.
There you go. Shit.
And then they did 4 times.
I might go for, but then I've got Baylor and TCU in the mix too.
Facts, dog.
Yep.
So,
Also, North Dakota State, kind of a fever dream.
yeah.
Like that offense, it was just like, what is
too scary. Too
to
scary.
go from like no college football for months on end to that
True.
game was like, oh my God. You know, it's the Joe Rogan clip. The whole guy's like, what is going on?
It's like jumping into a cold plunge.
They
Yeah,
had-
like I've heard you guys talk about all these wide receivers, and now they're just catching touchdown. It's like, what is going on?
Bro, I'm trying to find that tweet, bro. So I just
So
searched
epic.
rock on your
Oh
page.
boy.
You have a lot of tweets with the word rock in it, bro. Like, oh, wow.
That
Dude.
sounds so much worse than it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they're all very
Why are you
innocuous.
tweeting rock so much though?
But you were definitely slapped during this Nebraska game. These tweets are hilarious. In all caps, one thing about these effing losers is they're gonna fumble that rock.
Yeah, like the SEC thinks it just means more. To Ryan, Nebraska week just means more. You know, that's like
You tweeted that at
a
11:16
different level.
a.m. and then again at 12:45. An hour and a half
yeah.
later.
Yeah, they were fumbling it again.
Yeah.
prophetic. They
That's
could not hold on
hilarious.
to the rock in
And
that
I
game.
said it on the pregame shows when it became a thing.
True.
So
I
I'm
have
sorry
to
I
say-
listed off half the games of the
Yeah,
prime
you did.
era.
That's all right.
I have to say, I think Baylor is actually my number one.
Really.
Definitely, bro.
TCU is in its own category of like we said it a million times.
Sure.
It was a movie.
Yeah.
Like nothing about it even feels real. Like glow, it has like a glowy outside
Yeah.
when I think about it. But the Baylor one, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. I've told this story before, but like I was already doing the post game show in my head. Like, how are we going to talk about this loss? Like, what does it mean for the season? Like all of that stuff. And then especially after the one to Will hit the ground.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, well, that
Yeah.
was our magical chance,
Yes.
and we
Yes.
lost it. So, like, here we go. And then just like the feeling of literally going from maybe a 1 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 in a matter of like 6 seconds
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever felt it that big of a swing in my emotions that quickly during a sporting event. So that one, like, I can almost feel the way my
Yeah.
heart felt in that moment just
Honestly,
thinking about it.
that might be the defining performance of the Coach Prime era in some ways.
Yeah, bro.
I would argue.
Yeah, I mean, we
was-
got the iconic Travis play. Shador was dicing him up.
I caught some flack, but I said right after the game, I think that was Shador's best game as the Colorado Buffalo too. It's
up there.
I think that's definitely my favorite game of the Coach Prime era. Like you mentioned it, like there were so many times in that game where I'm like, oh, they're cooked. Colorado lost this game right before halftime, and then Omarion Miller makes that ridiculous play right before half to make it a 10-point game at halftime. We're like, okay, they're still in it. I mean, Sawyer Robertson was balling.
Yes.
Baylor's quarterback. There was rain. I mean, the last play, like you mentioned it, the Will Shepherd kind of drop. Shador executed that perfectly.
Yes.
And then he does it again
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
play. And then it gets, obviously completed to LeJante. And I've just never heard a crowd pop like that in my life.
Yes.
Well, and then
Never
OT,
heard nothing like
right?
that before. And then overtime.
Yeah.
And then
And the Travis, I mean, well, and that's why I say it's the because it was like,
It's everything.
it's one of those games, and I've had under 20, over 10 of those kinds of moments since I've been at DNVR, where I just shake my head and think, like, we are the chosen people. Like,
yeah, exactly.
how do these just blessings keep happening to us? That's one of those moments. And it's also like, yeah, like Shador, Travis, I would go to war with those guys anytime. Blind faith. Lead me where you want to go because I know that we will reach the promised land, you know? And it's just like, it doesn't matter how down you are, they will come back. They will make the impossible possible. And that game is defining of that.
Facts.
Dude, if I just drank coffee, like, and time it right, Oh, my brain is. I should probably look into medication.
Oh.
I think that's really
No, whatever is making this happen, do not stop it.
Yeah, no, after the show, because I wanted to ask you about this. Little bit of news.
Really quick, someone said CSU 1 had the most aura. Not for me. Too scary.
Yeah,
But I understand how if you're someone who's just coming in for that game, like
Yeah.
for sure.
night game, 8:30, goes into overtime, 98-yard drive, like it has all the makings. Just for me, the entire time I was just like, oh my God, we're
What
gonna
are we
lose
doing?
this. Like, could we lose this game? There's no way we can lose this game.
No, the TCU aura though, the gold like trim jerseys, like the
Yeah.
debut,
All the big plays.
like Colorado versus everyone was like born then, like basically,
yeah.
like all that stuff.
Yeah, wore
So,
that shirt to that game.
Yeah, tons of stuff.
yeah, that one's a classic.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about this. So we've talked a lot about the playoff, right? Did you guys see this tweet?
No.
More changes, great.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe we just don't know what we're doing at all.
How about we just start over?
How about we just start over? All the progress.
Tell me what we're talking about here.
Let's just start over.
So Brett McMurphy had a tweet last night.
Don't like that guy.
Me either. Conference commissioners have decided to, quote, start over on determining 2026 college football playoff format, sources said. Big Ten and SEC initially wanted 4 AQs, 4 automatic qualifiers, with 2 to each the ACC and Big 12. However, ACC and Big 12 pushed back. SEC coaches later publicly did not support 4 AQ model, instead preferring 5 plus 11. As did
Greedy
the
bastards.
ACC and Big 12. SEC wants more value given to strength of schedule metrics, something that was discussed among executives today. Basically, even if strength of schedule is supposed to carry more weight with the committee, it boils down to their opinions and who they think are the best teams. That's what they want to do. This is the one conference that plays 8 conference games a year. This is the one conference who the commissioner is just will not shut up about the CFP.
Yep.
And throwing all the ideas out there, just trying to
So they're
get
starting over. Does that mean
starting over.
Does that mean 5-11 is out and 4-4-2-2 is out?
I do not know.
Because I feel like starting over is just going to lead right back to the same place.
Yeah. My question, Dre, is
Oh God, we've blown this so bad.
how dare they?
Yeah, how dare they? I mean, it was when we opened that Pandora's box, and the people like us who kind of like the 4-team format were like,
I didn't like it.
be careful now. And now we're in this shit show. I mean, for starters, complete vacuum of power where this sport really needs a commissioner.
Yes.
Really needs, even if it was the TV networks, like someone in power who can kind of like lay down the law here.
Yes.
Because right now the
Someone
power
who has-
brokers have interests that aren't
Yes.
in the overall interest of everyone else. That's why the SEC and Big Ten are kind of trying to use their power to give themselves more AQs and stuff. It's not right, man, and it really goes against what makes college football great. They got to figure this out. And also, I mean, do we need a committee at this point? Like, would the BCS
this guy,
rankings
man.
do the trick for a
no,
12 or
no,
15 team format?
we do need a committee. I mean, because I feel like
I will say
me and you, we like the 5 plus 11.
Yes.
And a committee's kind of necessary for that. I feel like.
Yeah,
Don't
and
you
that's what I've thrown out too. Is like you need some sort of committee, whether it's I don't know, they're 33% of the vote or whatever. Like you need a
Yes,
human
like
element,
a human, right? It can't,
Yes.
You can't just leave it up to computer
Yes,
and a formula.
I agree
100%.
on that.
I don't know, man. I will say the biggest flaw of the BCS was that there was only 2 teams that got to go to the national championship game.
Oh, for sure.
So a lot of times, a fraction of a point, like what happened with Colorado in 2001, kept teams from getting a chance to compete for a national championship. And it's like
Totally.
this computer determined that based off of .001, this team's better than
totally.
that team.
I
Like,
get it, yeah.
we need some human element here
For
to
sure.
balance this out. With 16 teams, if
Right,
you're the
the stakes
17th
are
team
lower.
that missed by a fraction of a point, like you had a 0 chance of winning the national
Right,
championship.
yeah.
Right.
So
Also, you have zero ability to really complain.
I will say that's intriguing to me. What the most important thing though here is what Dre said, and that's we need someone who's interests are the best interests of the sport.
Yes.
There are 0 people making decisions right now who don't have an agenda. And obviously everyone has biases one way or another, and that's going to play a role in everything. But like, it would be like if instead of having Dre as the GM of DNVR, we had a amalgamation of people from different cities who were all trying to decide what's the best for DNVR, but really what they were trying to find was what was the best for them.
Yeah.
And what would happen to us? We would crash and burn because you wouldn't have any direction trying to say this is what's best for this market. It's what's best for my market. And it's that would be true of any business, any league, anything. The fact that college football has no one in charge of it saying, yes, but this is what's best for the sport. Except for like Joel Klatt and Chris Fowler out there trying to just preach to the people who probably, you know, they're getting some important listeners, but it's terrible. And what's crazy about college football is I think that college football is the single best sport on game day.
100%.
A Saturday in college football beats any other sport to me
like
in
a
the regular
holiday.
season. Yes. It is the worst sport every other day of the week.
Sure.
Every other day of the year.
Yeah.
Because we have no direction, it's everyone just pushing and pulling and tug of war and students versus the league, and it's just a complete mess every other time. And the fact that we haven't been able to figure out how to make this work and how to have some sort of structure is mind-boggling.
Yep. And just someone with a backbone too. Someone to just say like no, like to tell the SEC no. Those dudes need to be told no from time to time.
Yes.
Like honestly, like they can't just keep on trying to pick off the best teams from every conference and then just
100%, man.
it's getting ridiculous, and I'm really getting fed up with the SEC and just all this stuff because it feels like you said like they're the ones driving all this. They're I guess the closest thing to a commissioner at this point, but then they're looking out for themselves the entire time. They're not looking out for everyone else. So,
And by the way, it's not Sankey's job to look out for anyone
of course
else.
not. Yeah, sure.
He's just trying to do what's best for his league to get those members the most money. That's who he answers to. That's his job. So it's not his fault. It's the fault of the NCAA for not figuring out how to run this shit.
Yes.
1,000%. But and the NCAA, I mean, they've been completely
Neutralized.
right. Exactly. They have no power, right? I think it's why to me, in some ways, the networks need to step up. It's the only sport that's not governed by
Anyone?
anyone for one, and not governed by the people who are kind of raking in all the money. Usually the person who has their hand on the checkbook is also kind of the decision maker. You don't have that. And if we're not careful, we're going to look back 10 years from now and be like, yeah, we blew the best thing we had going in the sports world, man.
I agree. I'm worried about it. And it's
Same.
already happening with, just the utter chaos that is the transfer portal and the NIL and all of that. Like, you're losing average fans who are just like, what is this? Like, I can't keep up.
Totally. But yeah, then shout out to Commissioner Yormark, though. I mean, he's actually kind of standing up to it. And Phelps, whoever the ACC guy is, like, he's been outspoken about it too. So I don't know. It sucks to see that progress is basically halted with the CFP right now. Like, we're totally up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen? But at least someone stood up to the SEC. But yeah, someone else has to.
What is FSU not deserving to be in that CFP, which, by the way, was correct, have anything to do with the SEC?
What is that? Sorry.
He said, no, y'all was, Julius said, no, y'all was saying FSU didn't deserve to be in the CFP. Don't hate the SEC.
They didn't.
They didn't deserve to be in. And that was displayed by them losing 70-3 or whatever in their bowl
they
game.
rolled over and died.
Yes. But it has nothing to do with the SEC. I don't hate the SEC. I just want balance of power.
Yeah.
The SEC is great. I love turning on an SEC game on Saturday. Who doesn't?
Of course. I mean, look, this is the same playoff that had Michigan, Alabama, and Washington, Texas, right?
Which
2 years ago?
Yeah.
when
one
Florida
that-
State got snubbed?
when
you're
they
saying?
got snubbed,
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
There's not even a conversation.
I mean, and the only reason they really got snubbed is because Jordan Travis, blew his knee out before the playoffs.
Yeah,
so it's
sure.
like, I mean, that made 100% sense that, you lose your starting quarterback. We're not going to put you in the playoffs.
and that's
and
why
they-
a committee factor should still remain.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the BCS would have had him in there.
Of course
Right,
they would.
right.
They'd probably be number
sure.
2 in the country.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
That's the problem.
Let's go to the chat.
My dad not liking the Florida State talking here.
Julia says, Cederian commits somebody's favorite player hitting that portal come December. Add him and Jordan Clay. Oh, Lord. Yeah.
You wildin', Julius.
But
Hey, can we pull that up real quick, though? That photo again, if we can, of Cederian on the visit? Because did we talk about the other dude in that picture?
we did not mention that Javeion Cooper, another kind of surprise visit. Our guy Polkway actually brought it to our attention.
4-star offensive tackle, currently committed to Syracuse. Out there with Coach Phillips and Cederian Morgan. And just one last thing on Cederian Morgan. Like, if I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of an elite high school 5-star receiver, what would I really be like? What would be my top like check boxes of things I'm looking for at the college level? One, a quarterback who gonna give me that rock and is a star in his own right. Number 2, I would think is coaching. Am I gonna be developed the right way and my skill is gonna be refined? And the third thing was like, can this school get me to the league?
Yep.
Colorado is checking all those boxes in a massive way with Julian Lewis, with Jason Phillips, and with the fact that they, like you mentioned earlier, had the most receivers drafted this past year. Like, I don't know. It seems like a perfect match for me, Cederian Morgan and Boulder, and I feel like we're kind of heating up towards that potentially being a reality.
We are.
I thought you were going to say a great breakfast restaurant.
Shout out Snooze, bro.
To the box, man.
We're 2 weeks away from his commitment, by the way.
I know,
too.
yeah, July 2nd, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And look, from what you just said, so it's Colorado, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama.
There's 6 teams in total. I can find
Florida in there too.
I think Florida is in it. Yeah.
It's just the Blue Bloods.
So I mean, either way though, like what you just said, like compare the future quarterback situations of all those programs.
Exactly.
And there's a legitimate argument that you could go, Colorado is definitely not. I mean, I don't know if they're one.
Yeah.
They're in the top half. They're definitely not last.
Yeah, it's Florida and Clemson. They're the last 2. Clemson.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
totally.
like and we talked about it earlier this week, you and I did, in terms of how I look at football a lot of the times is like head coach, quarterback. Do you have guys in those 2 positions that you really trust? And Colorado
1000%.
has those 2 guys, those 2 boxes checked in a massive way, 2026 and beyond for the foreseeable future.
Big time.
So we'll see. I don't know really, the quarterback situations for the future of those other programs, but I know Colorado's in a good spot. And I know Julian and Cederian rock with each other heavy.
So straight up, Colorado just took Julian from Auburn, and
right.
Georgia pretty much.
Yeah.
And USC.
Yeah, but in terms of the top 6.
Guys that Cederian's.
Julian Sains at Alabama, he's a 5-star. I think he's going to be a decent player. I mean, DJ Lagway is not going anywhere anytime
I don't know
soon.
what Clemson's plan is at their club.
Neither do I, but yeah,
I rock with Juju.
no doubt.
And also, too, I would,
We're going to overtime. If you're watching on your television, head on over to thednvr.com. We're going to wrap up the show over there.
Speaking of overtime, we've had so many overtime games in the Coach Prime era.
Yeah.
It's insane.
One possession games, you could just say.
Yep. But like CSU number 1 went to overtime. Baylor went to overtime. There was another game in the first season that went to overtime.
Arizona State didn't go to overtime, did it?
The game we don't speak of.
Yes.
That went to overtime. Like, that's even if that's it. I can't remember if there was 3 or 4. I think there might have been another one that season.
But it's like, I mean, Arizona beat them on a last-minute field goal. TCU could have totally gone to overtime if TCU made a kick at the end.
Arizona State was
ASU.
Yeah, at the buzzer, the field goal.
It's just
insane
though with the quality of the games we've had.
Yeah,
they're all
really
close
is.
pretty much.
Jamel says, or is asking RK, the new Colorado banner at Folsom, is it turf or concrete?
So I almost answered quickly saying that's concrete. I don't know if I can say that with certainty now that I'm looking closely at a picture, and I don't know what they decided to do, but it would kind of make more sense to make it turf.
That would be awesome if it was turf, because I've talked about that
The
sometimes.
danger.
Yeah, like that's to me just like from somebody who didn't grow up watching Colorado games at Folsom Field. Like that just seems dangerous to me. Like when you're running and you're trying to stop going up a hill like that on
With
concrete
cleats.
with cleats, right? Like that just sounds like an injury waiting to happen. So if that actually is turf, that'd be sick.
And not only would it make a lot of sense from a safety standpoint, it would also make a lot of sense from a maintenance standpoint. That concrete eventually fades
sure.
and cracks and has to be
Totally.
refinished. If you're putting in all that turf and you already have all the black turf,
I'd be sick.
they might have turfed it, which
Yeah.
would be smart.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're right, Diallo. Julian Saint is at Ohio State. They have I always forget who they. Keelan Russell.
Keelan, right? Yeah.
Jeez. Someone else had a question though. Do we have time? By the way,
No, Nuggets
No.
behind us. I mean, like a minute or two.
real quick. Someone else asked though. I mean, you've done the Ram show with Justin a lot. I mean, BFN into year 3. How good do you think they'll be this season?
I don't know, because you saw some real regression last year, right? There was a lot of promise his first year as a starter, and then last year quite disappointing, and you have a weaker supporting cast around him because they lost some key offensive pieces on the line, obviously, in Torrey Horton at wide receiver. So I don't know. It's gonna be a crucial season. I think they're really counting on him, though, and I think maybe having less expectations going into this year might help them too.
Mm-hmm.
So no, they got to win. Like they got to make a bowl. They gotta have at least 7 wins. There's a lot of pressure on that coach and quarterback combo that Scott just mentioned as a pillar to any football team. Yep.
Did it kind of seem like they took the ball out of his hands a little bit late in the season? Like
Yeah.
they kind of went to more of like a
For sure, man.
ground and pound when they're supposed to be like a
Air raid.
air raid. Yeah.
Well, he
Which-
just became pretty inconsistent
Yeah.
on the
And
more
was
bread and
throwing
butter
it to the other
stuff.
team a whole lot.
For sure.
Yeah. So I wonder if that continues, if like they try to lean more into that.
It was very
ground game, or-
anti-Norvell
Right,
offense, the
right.
way they kind of approached and evolved offensively later in the season. Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
This was awesome. This was a lot of fun today.
Good stuff, Dre.
Blast.
Killed it, my
Thank you
dog.
More
so much.
musical chairs.
Yeah. Shout out to
We have a
Dre.
$50 donation too for Brittany.
Oh,
shout out
Brittany,
gosh.
thank you so
Brittany,
much.
bless you.
Let's
That's
go.
epic.
That is amazing.
Y'all hit that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure y'all donate to Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. We're trying to do it big this week.
And you can donate at any time. If you're listening to this when we're not live, you
Yeah.
can still come back to the show and click that donate button. So please do.
And become a diehard. Make sure you get in our Discord. We're going to be talking to
Facts.
some diehards in the Discord live on our show Friday morning for an early show. Tap in with us.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Early show the next 2 days. 10 tomorrow, right?
Yep.
9:30 Friday.
Yep.
There you go.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, you got 2 yeps from Melissa.
Why are you looking at me?
You're the one who asked
Yeah,
to change
she
it.
runs the schedule.
I forgot about tomorrow.
All right. See you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
Love you guys.
We all silly like the mayor.